From the creators of Dark. Well, that just got my hopes up. Let's talk about it. What is up, Netflix fans? Welcome back to my channel. Tribes of Europa is the brand new series that dropped today. I can't wait to talk about it. I need you in the comments down below. This is a spoiler-free review, but that ending, we may have to talk about it in another video. Let's get into it. So, in 2074, in the wake of a mysterious global disaster, war rages between the tribes that have emerged from the wreckage of Europe. Three siblings from the peaceful Origine tribe are separated and forced to forge their own paths in an action-packed fight for the future of this new Europa. So the comparison here, because it's from the same creators, looked to be Dark, but it's actually a very different show. Not only on a structural level, it's laid out much more simplified, but it's also just heading in a very different direction from something like that show. I would compare it much more so to something like The Rain, another similar show on Netflix, The 100 on the CW, and even going into movie territory like Divergent, or even the Hunger Games franchise. We have that post-apocalyptic feel, but we also have our younger characters on their own separate journeys, and you're just trying to figure out, are they going to come back together? How are they going to get back together? But I really love how the show sends them off in very different situations. You have one younger character in Elja who is kind of the focus of the show. He has something in his possession that everyone wants. There are so many different factions and groups of people in this world, in this universe, but each group is after the same object. That object, well, that is, and we're going to throw back to Transformers here,
the cube.
And the tribes are described as followed. You have the Origine tribe, who we kind of open up with, where our kids are from. They're kind of just hanging back in the woods. They don't want to be close to people. They're okay with being separated. And after what they call Black December, or this global blackout happened in 2029, they became their own little entity. Then we have the Crimson Republic. They want to help the tribes, but there's also something about them, the way that they feel controlling, the way that they go about certain things that just doesn't sit right with you at the beginning of the show. Then you have the Crows. The Crows, they're kind of looked at as the bad tribe in the beginning, but they have this code of honor, something about them that they tend to stick to throughout the show that brings a different component. And then the Atlanteans, who is the group that kind of creates the shock wave that's sent throughout this show. We have one of the ships that crashes at the main beginning, and that's what kind of sets off this wave of events and what inevitably gives Elja possession of this cube. Now, his older brother and older sister, they're off on their own journey. Every single one, like I said, is different. Sis, well, she's trying to figure out, okay, who am I going to trust here? How do I get out of this situation, even though it doesn't seem like the worst situation? Whereas, bro, yeah, it's not looking good for him at the beginning. Now, real quick, before I get back to the story, I do want to talk about the technical elements of the show that work extremely well. The set design, the production design, you can clearly tell at times because of the fact that they try to go the CGI route when maybe it doesn't work all that well. The budget is small. Not really that small, but when you compare it to some of these other Netflix shows, you can tell here and there that they weren't working with maybe the biggest television budget in the world, and sometimes they try to do too much, and it's obvious and it's evident. But for the most part, when you mix in the CGI that worked and some of the practical effects, the fact that the production design and the sets, the locations that they utilize here, down to the Origines living in the woods, it all looks extremely good. I also like the camera movement. I was afraid it was going to become too repetitive because we have the shots where the camera is kind of circling our characters, and that happens over and over, and a lot of tracking shots. I'm okay with that as well because it ended up bringing a nice flair, a nice style to this show, and one that keeps your interest piqued, even when maybe the story is becoming too convoluted. And that's the thing here, is there's a lot happening, and I feel as if some are just going to fall off because of that, and the pacing is so fast, especially through the first few episodes. We don't necessarily get time to gravitate toward our characters maybe as much as we want, and we don't know as much about them as one would hope. Now, we do learn more about each individual character as we progress, but I did need something in the first 3 episodes that said, Austin, here's a reason why you root for them. You root for them because they're good actors, but beyond that, I needed a bit more. Now, Dark fans will recognize the character of Moses, played by Oliver Masucci, and Moses is this crazy, quirky character. He's kind of the cool guy, and he sweeps one of our characters off of his feet and says, "Come with me if you want to live." No, he actually says, if you want to live, you should get in, clearly hearkening back to Terminator. But those are the types of moments that you get from this character. He and Elja, they're probably my favorite part of the show, to be honest with you. I really like their adventure, the characters that we encounter that clearly have a bone to pick with Moses. Some people are not a fan the way that he operates. One character told her he'd be back shortly, and it took him about 2 years. So that's the kind of character that we're working with here. But I really, really liked his inclusion, and he added so much. And yes, the show moves very quickly. The pacing is fast. It will take a second to get on board. But once you're on board, if you can get there, I have a feeling this show's going to find its fans. Not only because it reminds us of maybe that first time you're watching The 100, a show I used to absolutely love. I'm really behind on it. But you're discovering this world for the first time. What all went into it. The revelations that come with the characters. Oh my gosh. And that magic is definitely here. Now, again, the character development wasn't all there at the beginning, and I do think that's going to throw some off. So if you're interested in this show, but it's maybe not working for you in the first half, I would say give it a chance, because if you're willing to do that, I have a feeling it could pay off, and it does set up some nice things for the future, and I believe Season 2 could be significantly better because we've got all of the introductions out of the way. Essentially, it just takes its sweet time. Tribes of Europa is a show you will have to be patient with, but there is enough action, enough adventure, and plenty of seeds planted to bring fans back. So if you guys like this Netflix review and you want to help out this video, be sure to drop your thumbs up down below and your comments. What did you think about Tribes of Europa? And if you'd like to see me talk more about it in a spoiler-filled video, I'm going to 70% because this is just my kind of show, right? Even with the lack of character development in the beginning, we do get enough that kind of gets me excited for the future of what this could be, and this post-apocalyptic setting, even though, too real right now, it is something that I really enjoy. So I need you down below. What did you think about Tribes of Europa? Is it one that you're going to binge this weekend? Speaking of binging, 6 episodes, almost an hour apiece. It's the perfect show to binge. And I think it's one that's going to get you excited about the future. You guys are the best. I'll see you soon. I need you guys in the comments down below. How did you feel about this episode? Lots of great Easter eggs and comic book nods. The speculation will continue to build for the next episode. And of course, if you guys enjoy these reviews every single weekend, be sure to drop your thumbs up down below.